and essentially asks him, if you went against Vince Carter in a dunk contest, who would win? And Michael Jordan's response was, I think it would be fun. The fans would get entertained. It doesn't matter who wins.
He would never concede to anyone.
So I'm going to ask you, who would win that dunk contest?
I'm winning. I don't know how. I'm winning. But see, I appreciate that because that's what the era was like. MJ's going to put up a fight, and I know I would have to bring it. Just like with Kobe, Dr. J, the greats of the game in dunking, I would love to have had the opportunity to dunk against those guys.
What makes you confident you'd beat MJ in that dunk contest?
You better be confident if MJ, Kobe, and LeBron as well, they see weakness, they're going to expose you.
So obviously that was Vince Carter talking about an all-time dunk contest where he thinks he would beat, Michael Jordan. Shit, is this fan not on? Hold on. Yeah, so, this is a topic where Vince Carter, he obviously loves dunking the basketball. It was one of his best attributes as an NBA player, as a basketball player. And he thinks he would win in a dunk contest. And I think he's got a great case, right? So when we have conversations like this, I think it's important to understand a couple of things, right? If we were able to take a time machine and bring all of these players today, like all of these players from their prime. So Jordan when he was in his prime in the dunk contest, Vince Carter from that year in this dunk contest. And I hate to say this, rest in peace Kobe Bryant, but Kobe would not be on this list. If you saw the way he did the East Bay, he had to put it in between his legs on the way up. Vince Carter was in the air, legs split, and then he threw it between his legs and dunked. It's just a different... Kobe Bryant had like a 36-inch vertical leap. Like, it was just a different... He didn't have the same athleticism as these guys, if we're just being honest. Now, I'll throw a couple names in the hat, right? Zach LaVine, Jason Richardson, Desmond Mason. It's not Miles, right? I think it's Darius Miles is who I'm thinking of. But Desmond Mason, bruh. When I tell you guys, like, these guys were fucking incredible. Oh, my God. It's just one of those things where, they were in the time when basketball, like, they just weren't that popular, right? But those guys are incredible. Aaron Gordon, Desmond Miles. Desmond Mason. Desmond Mason, he could jump. Like, now, I do think, and here's the other part when you have these conversations, right? Even though we can look at it with our eyes in the modern day and say, okay, Jordan jumped high enough, he could probably do a between the legs or whatever. Or, Vince Carter, he could probably do some of the dunks that Zach LaVine has done. But the reality is, if we're taking them in a time machine, they only come with the bag that they had. Meaning Jordan only has his dunks, Vince Carter only has his dunks. Zach LaVine only has his dunks, Aaron Gordon has his dunk, Desmond Mason, Jason Richard, they only have the dunks that they have. If you want, go ahead, throw Dr. J in there. He's only going to have one dunk. If you want to throw Dominique Wilkins in there, he's only going to have one dunk. Let's be honest about some of these guys. It was just a different time. The only one in that time that was advanced enough would have been Michael Jordan. And in terms of the what if, all of these guys are super athletic. Is there a possibility that after a round of dunking, one of them or all of them, maybe even through talking to each other, could come up with something or steal a dunk from someone else. Yes, I think that's absolutely possible, but we don't know that. You see, like Vince Carter was throwing LeBron James in there, and I personally, even though LeBron can dunk like in game, he could jump really high, he jumps from far. I don't know if he would have been a dunk contest dunker. The way he moves in the air isn't elegant. It's all force and power. Right? Not saying that that's a bad thing, but in terms of a dunk contest where grace and the way that you float through the air matters, I don't know how creative LeBron would have been. And we've never seen it, so we don't know. Right? So we can only go by people we've seen in the dunk contest. And so I think Vince Carter and Zach LaVine, in my opinion, would probably have the best shot in that group over Michael Jordan, Aaron Gordon, Desmond Mason, Jason Richardson. You could throw anybody else you want in there. You know, I've heard people talking about James White. He used to play on the New York Knicks. Flight White. But he joined the dunk contest late, and even though we've seen some of his other dunk contests, I don't know how he fares under those kind of bright lights against other stars and superstars. I don't know, right? Like sometimes people fold under those pressures if you're not ready for it and if you're not prepared for it. So would he have been? That's tough to say, right? But what we can say is all the people that we've talked about so far went out there and performed.